these couples at work, they all say that they're friends. And I'm like, I can't imagine making a friend at 39 years old. Like, I actually can't. Mm-hmm. Like, at this point in life, I'm like, I avoid all maybe friendships everywhere.
Yeah, your next friend is going to be your wife. Hello, and welcome back to the U Up Podcast. I'm Jordana Abraham.
And I am Jared Freed. It is so good to be back here with you, Jordana. How are you? What's going on? What's the haps? This is coming out on 3/5, March 5th. We're in March.
We're in March. If you're wondering why we're not talking about Jared's Australia trip, because that's where you currently are.
That's where I am.
We're pre-recording a lot. You're going to get the full recap when he comes back.
I'll have my nervous breakdown once I'm back, yes. As I do when I come back from trips abroad.
Those are the best episodes.
We make sure to schedule. The minute I get back, I walk off the plane directly into the studio. I'm like,
you have been doing that a bit.
I've been doing that a lot. Yeah. Rachel Kirkconnell. That's what I did the same thing as her. She gets broken up with, straight to the studio to tape the response. That's what I do. I go straight from my flight to New York.
Hardest working man in America.
That's right. So, yeah, we're getting ahead so that I can go to Australia and tour. If you're out there on the 5th of March, Sydney sold out.
Wow.
I'm an international star.
Impressive.
It's very impressive.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
That is very impressive.
Thank you, and thank you, the listeners, because everyone's a part of this. I'm going to be in Brisbane tomorrow night, and then I'm going to be in Adelaide, Perth, and then I come back. I'm doing some New Jersey shows. I'm doing Rochester. I'm doing Nashville. The beat goes on. So jaredfree.com. So I am in Australia now. I'm enjoying, my Australian tour. But what's been going on? What's happening?
What's happening? I'm fresh off my steakhouse dinner.
You had a big steakhouse drunk fest with the Betches.
And then we had a little bit of a glitch because there was a huge snowstorm.
I missed it. I was in Florida for it.
Lucky you.
I heard it got a little nasty.
Yeah, we got many inches, which again in the city, different ballgame than on Long Island. Yeah. We couldn't get an Uber. None of the Ubers were driving that night because the roads were very, very bad. I was a little worried even once we got into the Uber. But it was like, we were kind of like, are we going to have to sleep here? Because everyone was like trying to get an Uber on their own and none of them were working. We were calling taxi companies. They were like, no one, try tomorrow. We were like, I guess are we sleeping at this fucking restaurant? And then we were like,
try tomorrow.
We were like, no one.
I think we'll be walking.
Yeah, I think we'll figure it out by then. And then finally someone gets one and it says like it's 25 minutes away. And this is like at the restaurant is like closing and they are like so annoyed that we have taken an Uber there and we cannot they're like, we've got to get home as well. We would love to leave in this snowstorm also.
The hostess isn't such a host at that point.
Yes.
They're like, okay, come on.
All right, get the fuck out.
Yeah,
right.
They were nice before. More bread? More wine? Oh, you guys are the best. And then 10 minutes after I want to go home. Like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah. And Long Island, I mean, in the city, things are open super late. This was like probably 10, 15. And they were like, we have got to leave.
Snowstorms, that's tough stuff, and driving in that's scary. And but this episode comes out March 5th. We are thawing.
Yes.
We are heading into
hopeful period.
This is the time of year that dating. I think we're heading into peak dating season. We're past Valentine's Day, the darkness of winter. We're heading out. There's like that one random nice day that you're like, maybe I will go for drinks afterwards. Maybe I will meet someone new.
That'll come soon. That definitely hasn't happened yet, March 5th, but maybe by
we're heading towards that. Like we're like 2 weeks away.
Yeah, from like that one nice day.
Yes, one nice day that like randomly happens and then go back to like a snowstorm.
Did you hear it's going to be 62 on a week from Tuesday?
Right. And for the people in Arizona, they're like, what? This is every day for us. But it is just that time of year that people are starting to come out a little bit more. I just think it starts now. So
the awakening.
On the dating front, that's exciting for the people listening if you're maybe kind of down the dumps a little bit.
Are you going to be dating in Australia, you think?
Where
it's summer?
It's going to be summertime.
Excuses for you. It's going to be summer there.
I'm going to go out. I'm going to meet people. Yeah. English-speaking country.
That's true. And good sense of humor, I feel like.
Also partying. I think they're like kind of like they're like a going out people.
Well, Australia is made up of British criminals.
I've heard this.
Yes, this is where the UK used to send all of their criminals to Australia.
Long
so that's
boat ride.
That's the pop. That's why the pop. That's like why they're English speaking. That's like the population.
Really?
There. Yeah.
So when you went there, could you feel that? Is there like a pride in that? Is there like a
I felt like there was the criminal air. No, no, I don't. No, I don't feel that really at all. But it does feel like there's like a little bit of like an outback, like a little bit of an adventurous edge, a little bit of a daring, adventurous kind of edge.
I like that. So yeah, I'm excited. I mean, we're gonna see. I mean, if you want to follow on Instagram,
and New Zealand
TikTok,
too. Do you have shows in New Zealand?
One show in New Zealand, in Auckland. So,
how's that show doing?
I think it's me and the waitstaff at this point.
I'm sure
I'm
you'll
bigger
find
in Sydney
someone there.
than Auckland.
I mean, Sydney's like
Sydney's there in New York,
big
right?
Big city, yeah.
So I'm excited. It'll be more stories to come. I was just in Florida. I was on the apps. I was
got a good tan,
browsing, got a tan. I got a little burnt. It was a 10 of a beach day. I mean, like we went to the beach and it was like this might have been the nicest day of the year. I know. I hate to tell you. I know how much this affects you.
You know how February gets to me.
I mean, this was like, we were out Super Bowl Sunday, which is like my favorite holiday of the year, winter Thanksgiving, and just we're sitting out, golfed, tanned.
Who's we? You and...
My mom, my dad, my uncle was there, myself, in the ocean, out of the ocean. It was just one of those days that you're like...
You guys just spend all day at the beach? What time did you get there?
We got there at 10 a.m., 10:30 in the morning.
Okay. Can you order food on the beach?
We can order food. We go to a place where you can get some food. Yeah, it's a full service establishment that my parents they made the right decision. When they got there, they set themselves up. They got a nice house, they're at a club, and then they have like a beach situation.
Yeah.
That is like the most luxurious
So they don't need to go on vacation. They live a vacation.
When they go on vacation, they're going to the same place that they live in.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Do they go on vacation?
Yeah. They go away. They like they go travel. They've done. I mean, my parents have been everywhere. It's it's actually crazy. My grandmother used to go on world cruises, and she would go around on a cruise around the world, and then there were legs.
Alone?
Sometimes she'd be on her own. She had a boyfriend that worked on the ship. He was like her.
Okay. Did you know him?
No, my parents did. There was her friend who worked on the ship.
You sound like you might be a little bit more like your grandma. She sounds very independent.
She's very independent. My grandma, yeah,
You have your grandmother's body too?
Same body. We have the same tits. My Nana, she was just a pain in the ass, similar to me, a lot of complaints, and then she would go on these cruises. For 3-week legs, my mom and dad would join her. So they've seen the whole world with her. They used to go on vacation with her.
So it was she spent a year on these cruises?
It was a long time. Yeah. I think it was her and my
grandma
grandfather.
at sea.
Literally.
Yeah.
Her and my grandfather's dream were to own a place on this world cruise and then just go. And then my grandfather died and it kind of changed the plans, and then she ended up doing it. And then my parents would meet her.
Right.
So they're it's funny. They'll have pictures of on the Great Wall, and it's just my mom and dad and this little old lady.
I mean, she's your mom's mom or your dad's mom?
My dad's mom.
Okay.
So it's they've been so I'm going to Australia and New Zealand. My dad's New Zealand's just like Boston. And I'm like, what?
Is it? That's what everyone says?
That's what he said. He goes, it reminded the harbor, and the fish and chips are pretty good. He had his own memories, and so they've done all of this stuff. I don't think there's a place they haven't been. Yeah.
Did she even have a home, or was she just living on the cruise
ship? She had a
ship?
very modest apartment in Florida just to keep.
Right.
It wasn't a thing. But this is later.
Sounds
in her
like
life.
you guys have a very similar lifestyle.
We do. Yeah, she was never one to want when grandfather died. Never wanted to date again. Never wanted to meet anybody.
Didn't she just date this guy who worked
on
the cruise?
They weren't dating. It was more like
They're
a
just
guy.
hooking up.
What's
just
that?
hooking up.
Yeah, they just fucked. He'd go down on her. Get her off.
I mean, you said it was a guy who worked on the.
Yeah, it was.
They weren't dating. I don't know.
Maybe I'm making this up. I gotta ask my parents. We don't talk. We don't. Your
family. It's interesting because
I have vague memories of stories. We don't know our history. We don't know who moved here. We don't know the immigrant tale.
You really don't know anything about
No.
just funny to me because I feel like you're good at asking questions. Like when I
Right.
tell a story, you ask like
I'd
a
like to
lot
think
of
so.
a lot of good, interesting questions, and then I'm like, well, why'd your mom get divorced? You're like, I have no idea. I would never ask that.
I don't know. We don't. Yeah. Even like I was with my family just now. Like I flew in this morning from Florida. It was my dad's birthday today. We were just like,
You've no history.
no real history. We don't really get into it.
Sounds like you could use Storyworth.
I mean, we really could if they want to sponsor. No, I walked into the. Sometimes I just end the conversation. I walk into the kitchen. My dad's shooting up his Ozempic, and my mom's like, "You should be doing that." And then I'm like, "All right, goodbye. Gotta go.
That's my cue.
Time to
Right.
go. I think I've been here long enough." And we got in the car, and my dad's like, he's wondering what I'm going to do as far as my living situation is concerned. And
Right.
they're like, you got to start looking. It's a lot. And I'm like, yeah, it's a lot of fucking work. I got to like figure this shit out. And
Go on a world cruise. I think you should tell
Move
them.
to
You should pitch
Zimbabwe.
that idea to them.
Hey, want to go
I was
cruising?
thinking about going on a world cruise.
I tried to get them to come with me to Australia. They're like, too long a flight. No, can't
There
do it.
does become a certain age, I feel like, where people are like, I'm not sitting for that long.
No, I mean, I'm not looking forward to the flight. 22 hours.
I mean,
There's a piece of me that looks forward to it, and there's a piece of me that doesn't. Like, there's a
Okay.
piece of me that's like, great, I can be alone with my thoughts and be on a flight. But then there's a piece of me that's like, I was told, I think Michelle Wolf, the comedian, my friend, she said that like hour 15, you're like, what the fuck?
time
am I
to
doing?
get off.
Yeah.
Is it
like,
direct?
Direct from LA to Auckland.
Okay. You've got a little break.
So here to LA, yeah,
I'm excited for you.
yeah, and I had a situation on the dating apps. I wanted to talk about this.
Let's break it down.
So I was on the dating apps, and someone had nothing written for they had no answers to any of their prompts, but they were hot. This
Okay.
is, and to take you inside the mind of a
Right.
man, like, these dating apps, I don't mean to be gross, but if you want to know how men are swiping, they're swiping differently than you.
Yeah.
And I've been writing a lot about this lately because I'm writing the book. The book
Yeah.
is on my mind, and we did this whole section on dating apps. And I'm writing out like how do men swipe, or how do I swipe, or what should you do for your picture? And it's like you have to have a picture that speaks to a man in half a second.
But not speaks to him too well, in my opinion.
Well,
because then you attract the wrong kind of guy.
You are what you is. Again,
Fine.
if you got your boobs out, and you're in a big bikini, and again, that's going to draw the half a second.
Right.
You're kind of cheating the half a second, so to speak.
Sure.
Instead of going
Right, but you're definitely getting more guys that way, but are you getting the guys that you're looking for?
Exactly. That's
Right.
why you're cheating the half a second, because you're just gonna get like there was even a Super Bowl commercial that was like all about breast cancer, and the whole commercial was like, ooh, titties. Did you see that commercial?
No, I didn't.
There was did anyone see the commercial? It was like this whole premise of this breast cancer commercial was like men looking at tits. And it got my attention, and I'm
Okay.
like,
What was the message?
help women with breast cancer? I don't fucking know. I just know that there was titties everywhere. And maybe we can
Did the
look it
ad
up.
say titties?
It's a crazy ad that turns into, at the end, you're like, oh, I was here for breast cancer all along. Good for me. So I think men swipe the dating apps like that too, where they go, titties.
Okay.
And then just like, and ask the
Right.
questions later. So like, but if you're like, again, this is all to say, like, everyone is someone's type. We are all here on earth because we have our lineage has survived. So
Sure.
someone wanted to fuck your mom and your grandma, and
Here you are.
The deckhand was going down on my grandma on the cruise.
It's all so that you could be here in the
here
seat. Yes.
yelling at you.
Yes.
So to my point, I guess this prompt had nothing written, but I like when the prompt's written because to get to notice
Well, I
someone.
can say, as someone who, at first, when dating apps came out, or when I've been on dating apps where I haven't written a prompt or haven't written a bio, and that is someone who doesn't want to be there. They're there
Right.
because they feel like they should be, but they really don't want to be there. So they're putting the minimal amount in.
I totally agree. And I would say, if I'm to give like advice out there, or to say the prompts should be written so personally, so, with like fun, you have to be light, personal, vulnerable.
Yeah.
Light, personal, vulnerable. Those are to me, that's the key to a good prompt response, because what you're doing is, okay, you're giving someone a chance to answer you in a fun way. It's not about you sounding fun to them. It's about them seeing what you wrote and writing to you. Again, I'm looking for better matches. So like if someone writes like, my typical Sunday and they write something like, well, I wake up at 2 PM because I go out too late at night. Like at least they're telling me what they do and I can say, where would you go last? A little self-deprecating. And I can say, where did you go last Saturday night that you were out till 2 a.m.?
Right.
What was this weekend's Saturday of choice? Again, it gets us rolling, at a running start, as opposed to nothing. So I wrote to this person, I go, you have nothing written here. I go, there's no prompt for me to respond to. What do I even say? And I'm being playful with the fact there's no prompt written. So then it became, hi, you should say, hey, what's up? So then I wrote, hey, what's up? And then I wrote in parentheses, I go, thank you for the help.
Okay.
And then, I think I'm being playful with what I'm given.
Right. Well, she wants you to do a lot of work.
Well, then they wrote back, LOL, and I wrote back, is that what's happening this weekend? Like, I'm just trying to, get a conversation going.
You're pulling teeth a little bit.
And I think there's this, and we were talking about this interaction, and you were like, you were saying how much women do still want to be pursued.
Yes. And I think that's we've been talking about this a little bit or a lot this month, just this idea of you're on a dating app or you're somewhere where the idea of going on a date is sort of implied. How do you do that? Go on the apps, be there even though you don't want to be there, and still be pursued on something that's sort of taken away the pursuit. And I think some people are like, I'm not going to be putting a huge amount of effort into this dating app because I'm then even giving them even more. Like they should be pursuing me. They should be earning these quippy whatever, or probably completely normal bland answers. Like I'm not going to give them anything. If they like how I look, let them I'm just going to give them enough to make them do more work.
I know, and it's a thin line. Like listen, let me just say as a man, I don't think a woman wanting to be pursued is a bad thing. And I agree with everything you just said. The app kind of takes away the romance of being pursued. Like it's all implied. So let me first give anyone who's wondering, avoid saying that they want to be that they want to be pursued. Like you are allowed to feel that, to want that. You should. Again, I'm not going to tell you what you should or shouldn't want, but if someone said I want to be pursued on the dating app, I would go, yeah. I think most normal men know that. Okay. Innately.
Right. So they're like, how little can I give while still getting that pursuit?
And the thing is, I think you always have to admit where you are in the atmosphere. You are still on a dating app. And it's not going to work out exactly how you want it to work out in person.
Well, that's the thing. If you want it to be exactly like it would be in person, you need to get off the app.
Right. it just don't be miserable here.
I agree.
If you're in gym class and we're going to play dodgeball, you got to play dodgeball.
Right. If you say, I don't want to get hit,
get on the sidelines. You're out. You're out. You're just going to sit on the side. Don't get involved to oh, you hit me, I'm out. That's not even fun.
I totally agree with that. I used to do the just pictures, no bio, no whatever on the apps. And then the apps didn't work for me. And that's probably partly why. I might as well have not been on them.
Right. It's almost worse to be on them half doing them.
I agree.
Because you're just getting angry.
Right.
You're just and again, this person kind of got angry at me because I'm trying to get this conversation going, and and I felt badly. I don't want to anger you. I'm trying to say, hey,
it
what's up?
sounded like you were trying to be fun, but maybe she was a little sensitive.
Listen, misunderstood. That's okay. Lost in translation. That can happen. I just think this idea that.
Well, how do you be pursued then?
I don't know. You have to give in to the stupidity of it. It is stupid to be on the apps. It feels dumb. You have to be okay with feeling doing the. I don't know. I see this a lot. This seems to be the theme this month because we're seeing a lot of and it's probably the time of the year where we're seeing a lot of are we texting? Are we not?
Right.
How much texting should I do? We have a couple emails today that kind of center on this. I think you said there's an article for Betches that you guys did.
There was an article that I think I wrote back in 2012 or 2011 or something, and it was it was called Awkward Texting Dynamic.
Yeah.
And it's sort of just when the texting between two people just there's something missing from the flow of it, either one person's being sarcastic and the other person's not picking up on it,
right,
or one person's being really enthusiastic and the other person's not matching their energy, and it's just you're not vibing.
what I don't like to hear is I'm a bad texter. We are a bad texter.
Okay.
We don't go.
But what if
And
what if I'm answering you in a timely fashion and you're not? Am I?
We are not the match.
Right.
I think like it's okay.
We have a bad texting dynamic.
Right.
Sure.
I think this is like where problems occur, where people push too hard for a date that maybe they shouldn't go on.
Sure.
You know, you go, we can't figure out this texting thing. What do we think? We think this is going to get better on the date?
Right.
We think, just because, and I know I'll get a response to like, no, I'm bad at text. You are until you're not.
Or here's the thing. I think you can be bad at texting if you explain yourself. That's still, you could be bad and still have a sense of what the other person's looking for.
You can get ahead of it.
Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, you could be busy. You could be texting someone who has a really busy day job, who doesn't have time to text you all day, or isn't interested in that.
I actually
But for them to say that, I think is totally fine. But to say nothing, then there's no, you don't have anything to go on. You don't know the person. You don't know what they're like. You don't know if they're actually, if this means they hate you or they're interested.
Well, let me go back at you a little bit. Not texting is not a bad texter.
Okay.
It's not acknowledging what's going on in the texting. So just like you said, like, it's not that you didn't answer. It's that when you did answer, there was no like, hey, I'm away from my phone all day because I work, on the stock exchange, and they make me put my phone at my desk, and I'm buy, sell, funny money, boom, bah.
Sure.
But then saying, but Thursday night, we should get together.
Yes.
Like, that's a different thing than, hey, how was your trip? And then you write, good.
Right.
And it's like, okay.
Who'd you go with?
Friends.
Right.
And, this whole thing, like, exclamation points. I used to do a joke, a girl that I was dating, I said happy birthday with no exclamation point, and I thought she was like, and she got mad at me, and she's right.
I would get mad.
Right. She's right. Like, if one person's exclamation point and emojis and, like, giving you a little bit, doing a little dance.
Right.
And it's you feel a little stupid doing the dance, but, like, the other person has to see, like, they're giving you an energy.
An energy.
Are you going to match that energy or not?
Yes.
And if you choose not to, because you don't want to give too much, and you don't want to look like you're
it means
a big
something.
fucking pussy. Like, that's a lot of this is pride and ego.
You think for men?
All sides. I think this
Really?
is genderless.
Okay.
I think I don't want to give too much because I don't want, I don't want to pay on the date because I don't want them think they could take advantage of me forever. I don't want to put an exclamation point because
I don't want them
might
too
think that
eager.
I'm too excited.
Yeah.
It's like, well, sometimes you gotta fake it a little bit. Sometimes you gotta show that you are excited to get the other person excited.
Right. And you have to know how much you're giving and when to use the punctuation correctly. It sounds so stupid, but like
It's something.
a delayed response needs an exclamation point.
Right.
So sorry, I just saw this.
Been a
Exclamation.
day.
Right, yes.
Like, I don't.
You can't respond, who are you there with? Friends, 4 hours later with no follow-up and think that that's going to get you anything.
Right. It's a little too cool for school. It's a little, I got to be cooler than you.
Right.
So that you kind of want me. And to me, that's like trying to zhuzh up someone pursuing you.
Right. Or trying to make a statement about how you are no longer as in as you used to be.
As your what?
The happy birthday, no exclamation point.
Oh, I'm not as into this anymore.
Yeah, why did you do that?
Right.
Well,
No,
why did you do
I was lazy. I was lazy, and yeah, she's not my wife. So
You're not that invested.
right.
So
I don't know. Let's get into the episode. What are we talking about today? Oversharing. Everyone's got to go listen.
go listen. You can watch us on YouTube. We're on YouTube now. Go listen. Go subscribe if you want some bonus episodes, ad-free, day early. And subscribe to this episode. Watch on YouTube. Subscribe on YouTube. We appreciate all our benefit subscribers. We've got 2 bonus episodes every month.
I mean, we really got into it on benefits.
Oh, yeah.
this
If you want to
week.
hear Jared and I have a little
go
bit
at
of a disagreement. I don't know. A civil discourse.
Civil discourse.
Civil
I wouldn't
discourse, yeah.
call it a disagreement.
Yeah.
I think it's interesting. All these subjects are the
agree,
reason we
yeah.
like this podcast is because we like talking about it. Like, we talk about it off air, in
Yeah.
the same way we talk about it on air, and I think it's really difficult to put words to a lot of these things that really don't have an answer.
Right, because they are very nuanced, and I think that's sort of the beauty of a format of a podcast is you can get into what the little things mean, because sometimes
Right.
they do mean a lot. And anyone tells you that you're overthinking it, like, probably hasn't done it or doesn't understand it.
You're overthinking it is the most annoying response to like, hey, so I'm dealing with this person I'm dating. It's like, okay, so I just shouldn't tell you the story.
No, it matters.
Yeah, it matters. That's the fun of it. Let's get into the episode. What are we talking about today?
All right. I will read our first email. Hey guys, I'm a 30-year-old guy living in New York City.
Dudes.
I've been single for a long time, but I've been dating on and off in the city without much real progress. Lots of first, second, third dates, but nothing really going further. Tale as old as time.
There it is.
Recently, I was meeting up with a girlfriend.
I like how he wrote that.
Like a girl-friend, so it's not his girlfriend.
I've never seen it written that way.
Yeah. So
Girl-friend.
I would write like a female friend. A friend who's a
I
woman.
kind of like how he did it.
All right, sure.
Girl-friend, female friend. I would be like, doth protest too much. You know, like it's
a friend with a.
How would I describe you?
A friend with a vagina.
I met up with Jordana. My vagina friend.
Yes.
That's fun merch. Vagina friend.
There you go.
Yeah.
Great for the platonic friendship. Who I have known for more than 3 years. We went on a few dates back when we first met, but mutually the romance never took off and we have since remained friends. Cool. I made us a reservation at a small tea shop in the West Village one night to meet up with her after work. I ended up arriving about 20 minutes early, and as I was waiting, I noticed a young, cute girl peering into the tea shop. What? Peering in?
It is a weird way to write it.
Yeah. Clearly, she was looking for someone.
Where doth that woman come from, peering in that window there?
Right? Are you not visualizing like someone putting their face against the window like
right.
this? Yeah.
I'd be like, what is she looking for?
Yeah.
It sounds very like it's out of like
a storybook. Yeah.
And a young woman came peering through the tea shop window.
Should do some calm sleep
The
stories.
Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe.
You should do. Are you going to do your audiobook?
Your book? I do want to do the audiobook.
You should.
I mean, I gotta.
It makes sense.
That's where I would shine.
Of course,
This is my, that's my
love undercover.
Love undercover. I do some VO work.
Yeah. Clearly, she was looking for someone, and her and I made eye contact a few times. They used to call this the eye fuck back in the day. Do you remember?
Oh, I do remember
like that was
eye
a thing.
Fuck. That girl was eye fucking me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Gen Zs don't use that anymore. Maybe
No?
it's a little too
it's a little
aggressive.
It is aggressive.
Finally,
some chick was eye fucking me. Yeah, it is.
That was
saying it.
Yeah, now it seems like a little gross.
Yeah,
but it was
I'm
a
gonna
thing.
Bring it back. What if I'm gonna bring it with me to Australia. Put it in my backpack.
Honestly, it's a good term to describe what it kind of means.
Right.
Like,
this chick is eye fucking me.
Making eye contact. Finally, this
I'm
girl walked.
fucking the shit out of this chick.
All right.
Yeah, it sounds bad from that angle.
Finally, this girl. Did you wear glasses? Eye condom.
Don't worry, war protection.
Finally, this girl walks in and introduces herself to me. Turns out she was on a blind date and thought I was the guy.
That makes more sense for why she's looking at it.
Peering in, yes. Obviously, I wasn't, and we joked around about it. We chatted and flirted, felt like flirting to me at least, for 15 minutes while we both waited for our respective people to show up. No awkward silence, just continuous, authentic conversation. She was so cute and chatty, I just couldn't help but think, is this a real-life meet cute? Or is it just the novelty of meeting someone naturally in person in 2025? Eventually, our chat came to an end, and we went about our nights separately. The next morning, I was able to find her based on some of the information she gave me that night. It didn't take much. My question is this. Is this really one of those times where you pursue someone, or do you just let it be what it was? Just a random interaction in the big city. Grateful for your pod, and thanks so much for making dating content fun.
Before we get into this, you know what is a not spoken about, but is like the true hero of searching for someone that you want to go on a date with?
What?
LinkedIn.
You've met someone on LinkedIn?
No.
There's no way you're on LinkedIn.
I am. I think I am from when I sold life insurance. Like there's still an account. LinkedIn is like how I find most women I've matched with.
Oh, like when you Google search them?
When you Google search them, this is like the best.
Do you click their profile because they can see when you click it?
Well, I don't have a profile. I'm not signed into my LinkedIn.
Okay. Well, then does it show you anything?
No, but you go to Google search, and he says it's not hard to find her. It is very easy to find anyone if you have their job, their school, first name, New York, the city they live in, LinkedIn.
You can find a lot of information about someone on very little information about them.
Right.
Yes.
I just don't think LinkedIn knew that like a side product of what they do would be the ability to find a woman that you want to fuck.
So you're looking at women's LinkedIn profiles all the time.
I have searched so many LinkedIn profiles. It's like crazy.
Can you have a good versus bad LinkedIn profile?
I only see the picture because I don't click on it. Just like
Very
you said.
professional picture usually.
It's always a professional picture, but it's always like it gives me the last name.
Right.
So you search LinkedIn, New York City, Sarah, NYU.
Okay. You have right.
Depending
on their last name
based on
too.
this 15-minute conversation, that is all
Yeah.
LinkedIn information. Those 5 things can be found through a 15-minute
Totally.
conversation.
No, not weird that he's able to find her based on one
not weird that he can
interaction,
find her,
yeah.
but I'm just saying it is interesting to me that LinkedIn is the greatest database of people you're trying to go on dates with.
Right.
And they have no idea. Like, I don't think that company knows that, like, a lot of their traffic is just randos coming over from Hinge trying to figure out who they're trying to fuck.
Right. Well, what information do you find out from that? Just their job?
The last name.
Last
and then
name,
we
that's
go
right.
back to Instagram.
I see.
Yeah,
okay.
I
So you're
started
just
Hinge.
using LinkedIn to find the last names.
Yes.
Okay. Interesting. Who knew you were like Catfish?
Catfish?
Neve Schulman.
Is that how he looks people up like that?
Yeah, he has a special methodology. He Googles their name,
Yeah.
and that's it.
Okay. Guy's a genius. So, to this question, what do you think? I do think it's funny that they wrote it's a novelty to like meet like this in 2025. This is like every story pre 2007.
Yeah.
No,
it's great. I think he should definitely reach out. They had a great in-person interaction. She's single. She was waiting for a date, first date. So she's not like on a date with someone she's been dating.
Right.
He thought she was cute. They had a nice conversation. She didn't have to keep speaking to him after that. If I had that interaction and someone messaged me and I was into them, I would not be like creeped out by it.
Well, also, creepy is only attraction away. So we do know that she is attracted to him because she said, "You look like the guy I'm supposed to go on the date with."
Who she's agreed to go on a date with.
Right. So we are pretty positive she finds you attractive. So that means you coming out of the woodwork isn't as creepy as if she wasn't attracted to you.
Do you think he should mention that he like
Has to mention
looked her up?
He has to act like he is...
Admit everything.
He has to act like he is an accused predator. He has to act like he is on the run and he knows it. There's like, just understand you are a predator and you are,
Start with fear.
Right. Understand the fear that could come over someone being approached by someone out of the blue that they met for 5 seconds and you found out all their information. It's a little naked feeling. And if they're not that attracted to you or they feel a little a certain type of way, which people are entitled to, about randos looking them up on the internet via their LinkedIn, like I'm doing.
Yeah.
Then you have to understand that could be a little weird. So I think going, messaging her on Instagram, which is like a really kind of a good route, I think.
Sure, yeah.
Hey, I know this is incredibly weird.
What if she's private on Instagram? Can he follow her and then message her?
I would message no follow.
Can you message without someone
think
who's private?
Yeah. Let's go based on you can.
Sure.
Because I do think you can.
Okay.
I've had people message me that don't follow me.
But you're not private.
I delete every single one.
You're not private.
That's fair.
I'm saying,
but they are.
Yeah, but can you message someone who's private if they haven't messaged you first? Like, if you ever, without following them?
It'll be like a message request.
Without following, that's what I'm saying, without following them.
Without following them, yeah.
You sure?
I'm positive.
Okay.
I'm positive you can send that message.
Okay.
And I think you don't follow, send the message, and just, hey, I know this is incredibly weird.
Yeah.
We met, and then explain where you're coming from.
Right.
We met. No one knows you. This happens to me a lot. I know you. We met. No.
Oh,
Explain everything.
Yes.
Explicit. Get it down on paper. Hey, I know this is incredibly weird. We met the other night at the tea shop when you were peering through the window looking for your date. You thought I was them. I had a really nice conversation with you. It stuck with me in a way that I went and searched a couple of the things you mentioned in our conversation. And I would love to get drinks with you if you're up for it with a rando that met you in a tea shop. Like, admit to everything.
Yeah.
All out there. And I'd love to get a drink if you're free Tuesday at 9. Here's my number.
Yes.
Please text me.
Nothing wrong with that. Yeah.
Right? Like,
Yeah.
I think like...
And that's it.
You're not right, but that's it. You can't. Hey,
no follow up.
Did you see
My
this?
message? Yeah.
Bump.
Yeah, don't do
Bing.
don't do LinkedIn and Instagram.
No, one. They saw it, and if they don't get back to you, they saw it.
Right.
They saw it. It's a no.
A maybe's a no. A no is a no. No answer's a no.
Everything's a
but
no
I'll
except
see-
a yes.
Yes. Exactly.
That's a good policy.
Yeah. And I don't think that would be weird at all. I think he should do that.
Right. And I understand his like, I'm seeing all these fucking articles. I saw an article. It made me eye roll so much. I'm so sick
Of articles.
of articles. I'm just so sick of the politicization. This like, I just think everyone's just such a fucking
What is the
loser.
article?
It was something along the lines of like, men can't leave the house anymore because of the ick.
What?
And it's like there's, young men are so fucked up by the ick that they don't even go on dates anymore. They're afraid of their own shadow. And it's like, no, they're not. No, they're not.
Right.
No, they're not. And if they are,
Someone had a deadline and needed an idea.
ta-ta.
Yeah.
Like, well, deadline, it's either clickbait,
Right.
or if there's one person they interviewed that's like, I can't leave the house. Well, say goodbye to that guy.
Yeah.
He ain't gonna fuck. Goodbye.
Here's the thing. You just have to say, am I being a reasonable, normal person
Right.
in this interaction?
Is it reasonable
Yes.
to admit that, yes, it's weird that I'm doing this?
Yes.
That here's how we met. Over-explain.
Yes.
I can say it from my position because I know it more than most because I get people that all the time, remember me?
No.
And
yeah.
I'm like,
to anyone that's annoying. Yeah.
I hate remember me.
Right.
I hate it.
Assume I don't remember you.
You message with
You
my
pro-
sister
I would
all the
always
time.
assume-
No, I fucking don't.
I would say you probably don't remember me, but here's how
my God.
here's how we met.
You probably don't remember me makes me like kind of erect. Like when someone says that, I am so
Puts you at
happy.
ease.
Oh, I'm like, I feel good. I'm like, thank you so much. This is how much people can really just crush you. You remember me, right? Like it's
Right.
so different. Like I'm like, I don't know.
We met.
We met
You
a
know me.
thousand
You
times.
know me.
We talk, come on. We talk all the time. Or I know you don't remember me.
Right.
I do that. I do that all the time. I do that. I do it so much that like
I would say you probably don't. I know.
no, I know you don't remember me.
I know you
No,
don't.
I'm a big fucking loser. I have a small penis.
Everyone
Please
hates me.
don't. Yeah,
Yes.
everyone hates me. No. Let me explain who I am. I will go above and beyond to make someone not feel that. Like
Right.
over explain.
But go. Do
Yeah.
it. And again, that's it.
That's it.
Yes.
One and done. Bring her to another tea shop where she can peer.
What a great our story page.
Love it. Okay, let's do we love this game. Are we dating?
Love Are We Dating?
So listeners write in with a scenario and they're asking, am I dating this person?
yes.
And it's kind of like,
we'll tell you.
We'll let
I'll
you
tell
know.
you if you're sometimes you think you're dating, but you're not.
probably not. But also, you know what this is? Are we dating? You're like, well, how could someone not know that they're dating someone? Like, it's like a fair question. It is to know what rights you have to talk to someone, to say things to someone.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think that's part of this game.
Right.
Is like, where do I get to come off?
How much right? How intimate is this relationship?
Right. So we're going to tell you, J&J, subscriber here that can't get enough of the pod, finally decided to write in. Well, welcome. Thank
Love it.
you. Long story short-ish, I had a whirlwind summer fling with a guy while on vacation for about a month. We both have vacation homes in the same place, have been friendly for a couple years, but never really hung out until this summer. Although I did try to hang out with him the winter before by strategically going to Jared's show in this guy's city. We didn't end up getting to see each other, but the laughs from Jared were worth the 5-hour drive.
All right, now you're just
Buttering me up.
Yeah, seriously.
We finally got together this summer and really hit it off. We basically dated for a month. We were together. Dinners, drinks, late night hangs. The whole deal, including being grown-ass adults sneaking around our families trying to hook up like a couple of teenagers.
Cute.
Jump to the end of the summer before leaving to go to our respective hometowns, and I bring up the "What are we?" conversation.
Clearly
Does she
not.
listen
Yeah.
to-
Are you a listener of the show? We say we don't do that. Reveal.
Whenever someone has the "What are we?" conversation and they listen to the show,
Yeah.
I'm convinced they just don't want the answer.
Because they know that that's
They-
not how you suggest doing things.
Right? They just know. We leave it as a let's keep in touch and see what kind of solution
This guy's good.
this guy.
What are we?
What?
We are people who will definitely try to keep in touch.
Cool. Sounds good. See you next summer. Right?
Yeah, she doesn't even realize what move this was pulled on her.
Right. We leave it as let's keep in touch and see what kind of situation because we live so far away from each other. But said we'd plan some visits. We continue.
A lot of we's.
Yeah,
She's definitely thinking of them as a we.
Well, here's the other thing. It's so funny. Let's keep in touch and see what kind of situation because we live so far away. It's like you say, you can't have like 30 excuses.
Right.
This is like a mishmash of
30 excuses are all lies. One excuse could be the truth.
Yeah, just like throwing.
Yes, see which one sticks.
Get out of here.
Right.
Get out of here with what are we? We continue to communicate in some way pretty much every day. Fast forward to the fall, and we decided to take a weekend trip together. Everything picks up where we left off from the summer, and it was the best weekend. I chickened out asking what we are again, but did embarrassingly sob when we said goodbye. We go back home and continue talking most days. Now we are going to another weekend trip together, so maybe I'll have an answer after this one. If I can get the balls to bring up what we are again. We know we like each other and are attracted to each other, but are we dating? Or am I so deeply entangled in a long-distance situationship going nowhere? Help. I like you. You like me. Why aren't we dating? That boils it down.
Yeah.
This is every person in a situationship's plight. I like you. You like me.
Right. We keep
Why
seeing
aren't we
each other.
dating?
Yeah.
We talk every day.
Yeah.
This is a...
Why wouldn't we be dating?
Right.
Right.
So are they dating, Jordana?
Unfortunately, they're not dating, but I wish they were.
We wish you the best.
I wish they were because I see what she's like, how she's rationalizing this, and like she's much more invested in this than he is.
Right.
What do you think? Are they dating?
They are not dating. Here's the most important thing he's doing. He keeps all clear on the home front. Notice something in her email.
She doesn't come to him?
Even when they try to go to him, never can happen. Even their trips are away. So
romantic.
The one time she tried to go to his city, it was a no-go.
What happened?
She ended up at my show.
Oh, yeah.
She goes to my show in his city, nothing happens.
Well, that was before they started hooking up. Right.
But again, it goes to the whole premise here where if it's in his
convenient
home turf, he ain't messing that up.
Okay.
Home turf, she's never had him.
He's at mom's beach house. It's fine. What
Beach
happens
house-
at mom's beach house stays at mom's beach house.
That's right. And he's got an out. It's
Live
distant
so far.
summer.
Let's see how it goes.
Right. They're running around like teenagers or sneaking around. Why are they sneaking around? They're
Right.
adults.
Introduce.
Come over. Come meet my parents.
Yeah, that's true.
Right? They're dating in the alleys.
Yeah, she's got to
I've
get
mentioned
out.
this on a past episode. Main street dating, alleyway dating. She is full alleyway cat. She's an alley cat.
I'm sorry. I get it. You're swept up in the romance. 'Cause
listen-
for a month, it was like hot and heavy. So I can see why
Right.
you'd be like, all right, we're one of those people. We reconnected with the same,
Right.
we both are rich. We have beach houses. We were meant to be together.
Right.
And then like it is hot and heavy.
And we
then
like
the
each
bubbles
other.
burst.
He likes
Yeah.
me enough to do all these trips.
Yeah.
And
We have a semi-functioning romantic, I would call this a semi-functioning romantic relationship.
absolutely. And she's saying I can't bring it up, and she knows it's not.
Because she tried to bring it up and it
But
didn't go well.
She
She's
used
not
the side door. She didn't even
right.
try.
Well, she's not bringing it up again because she's not going to ask a question she doesn't want the answer to.
Right.
Because to ask the question and then he says, he's going to give her the same answer. We're just so far. Let's just see how it goes. I'm having a lot of fun. Let's just see how it goes. And she is also having a lot of fun. She keeps saying we're having a lot of fun.
Right.
But she also feels horrible.
Well, she's like, I want a boyfriend for a weekend rather than no boyfriend at all.
Right.
Because that's what she's getting with these trips. Like the trips are the real like heartbreaking part.
Well, that's the drug.
Right.
Right. You're like, oh, I'll take like being confused and anxious in between the trips, not knowing what we are for like these 2 days of I have a boyfriend and everything's, and it's even better than when you have a real boyfriend because it's so amplified.
Right.
Because
it is
it's like-
it is addiction behavior. Because like
Totally.
yeah, I'm gonna do 2 ways and 2 days of getting this heroin in.
Totally. I'm like a 2-day bender
Right.
and then what am I going to give that up to have like things be like this?
Right.
Like totally just mediocre versus like really great and then really bad.
She'll deal with the hangover when it comes.
And that's what a situationship really is. If you break it down, it's like these really high highs that you don't really get from a normal, healthy relationship because it's not as exciting to go on a trip with your boyfriend of a year that you know loves you and is going to be, and you're going home with.
Right.
This is like way more exciting.
And she might get the win. Maybe this is the trip that he says, let's move in. Let's be together. We'll do long distance. We'll figure it out, kid.
Totally.
What should she do?
It's tough, but I think she should.
It's so hard to give advice to this because we both know she's not going to do it. Or
well, she's not going to do it. She's not going to get what she wants. Well, let's start with it. Maybe I would say there's like a 2% chance that she gets that she leaves the situation with a boyfriend, but she's got to give up toxic to get good or great, hopefully. So I think she needs to do what we always suggest. She needs to do the reveal.
Right. She has to do, I think, a different form of the reveal. I think she has to, she's got to make him feel her loss.
Make him feel like shit?
A little bit, right.
How do we do it?
I think she's got to say, hey, I can't go on this weekend
Give it
trip.
a consequence.
Right. I want to go on this weekend trip, but I can't. Because when we go on these trips, it makes me feel like we're together, and I know that we're not. And then I leave here feeling like garbage.
That's a reveal. Yeah.
That's a reveal. I feel like garbage after this trip because I had you as a boyfriend, and then I don't. And you got nothing but excuses. Distance and beach houses and parents' basements or whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
And you just say, I want to be with you. I want this to be I'm willing to do the hard part of having a long distance relationship. You got to, and I can't do trips with someone
that's not my boyfriend
not my
at this
boyfriend.
point.
Right. You've tasted all the flavors you can taste at the ice cream shop.
Yeah.
And I think even if she wrote her sign off, I like you. You seem to like me. That's a boyfriend to me.
Yeah.
And if you can't do that, I gotta go. It sucks.
Right.
I feel for her.
I mean,
she's not gonna get the answer she wants, and it's hard to say.
There's a chance that could work.
There's always a chance.
There's a chance, but it's like that's the only way it would work.
Right. And listen, you've tried it. You've seen what it's like to be in a relationship with me. You either want that or you don't.
Right.
No more taste tests.
Yeah.
You know, not to compare her to like Froyo.
No,
but I was at a Froyo place in Boca last night.
The free trial is over.
700 flavors. I was behind her and she wouldn't stop tasting. She's tasting this. She's tasting that.
How many do you think you're allowed?
How many tastes?
2?
3 at a maximum.
3 max.
You get 3. I will give you 3. 3, I get it. And you have to choose one of the 3.
3 is a lot.
3 is a lot.
I think, yeah.
But you have to, one of those 3, and you can't just go, let me try the Chunky Monkey, let me try the Rocky Road, let me try the sherbet, and then you go, strawberry. You can't go a 4th.
You must choose one of the
you getting an appetizer.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
This woman, she got
I think 2 is classy.
What?
2 is classier.
2 is classy.
Yes.
3, piggish, but I'll allow it.
Okay.
Because I'll have 3.
How many did she do? More than 3?
It was like 2 hours, and my mom and I are behind her.
2 hours.
It took forever. My mom and I are behind her. We love Brendy's, and not all. If you're from the Florida area, Brendy's is amazing, but there's 1,000 ice cream places called Brendy's that are not the same Brendy's.
It's the one.
There's good Brendy's
okay.
and there's bad Brendy's.
Okay.
And we were at the good Brendy's, and this woman was in front of us. She's getting a milkshake, and then she's like, I'm going to try this, and I'm going to try that. And my mom's like not easygoing.
Right.
To put it
mildly. Did she say something?
My mom's going, what'd you get? What are we getting? Are you getting that? And my mom's ordering ahead of her. I'll take this. And she's taking forever. She just says it.
She says
my mom will say
Does
things
the woman,
out.
look at her?
Yeah, of course. This is my life.
Are they fighting?
She looked at her what?
Like giving her like a fuck off
I don't think
look?
people can believe it. Okay. Like my mom's like talking about them as they're like within earshot.
Right.
She's taking forever. We'll have just orders.
Good for her.
Good for her, bad for me.
I mean, you have. I would be like, I'll see you in the car.
Yeah, I deal with this. I have to look at the woman. She's looking at me like I'm going to talk shit about my mom.
But you actually kind of like it, right? Because you get
something is comforting about it.
You get your froyo faster.
I've never waited for froyo before. When I'm with her, I don't wait for much.
That's the life. Anyway.
Yeah.
This woman's a flavor at Brendy's.
You're right.
3
He's
trials
had
over.
3
Yes.
tries. He had the summer.
Yeah.
He's on try 3.
If he doesn't want to date her now, he's never going to want to date her.
It's over.
I get it. It's hard.
It's hard.
Because she's having fun. When she's there, she's loving it.
Well, she's being logical. She's going, we get along so well. Why
wouldn't we be dating? Yeah.
And he's probably fearful.
Because women don't do that. Women don't just like go on trips and hang out and like sleep with someone for a month. And I couldn't fathom being like into someone enough to do that, to go on a vacation with them, to hook up with them and be with them for a month straight, and not want to date them like for real.
I do. I can understand it.
Yeah.
Because, with committing comes, okay, now I got to move. I got to find you a place. Like there's like so much. He's emotional and it's weird. She's being logical and emotional and he's being logical and emotional, but in 2 totally different ways. Because she's like, look at, like we had the summer and will they, won't they? But then she's being logical because she's like, we like each other. So why wouldn't we just date? We'll figure out the distance later.
Right.
And then he's being emotional because he's like, I just don't want to be committed to the next step because I'm not sure if this will last forever.
Right.
But he's being logical.
She's not asking for that.
They're all asking for that.
I mean,
you're asking for the next step.
Not immediately.
But that the next step means the next step.
Right. Well, then hook up once and then move on. That's like
right. Well, he got hooked on the. He liked that rocky road.
Well, why not find someone else to sleep with and hang out with?
Because it's not that easy. You just go fuck anyone. They gotta want to fuck you.
Well, I mean,
this is. But I think like men.
Why do they want to have sex with you if they know that you don't? They feel that they know that you are more interested in them. Like, don't they feel that? Doesn't that make them uncomfortable?
Yeah, that's what the reveal is supposed to do.
Right.
That's the whole point.
So why do they still want to do it?
I think he isn't as clued in. He knows, but he's like.
He thinks she's having fun.
He's like, she's going.
And she is having
trips.
fun.
She's saying she is. Why
can't we just have fun?
Let's do another email.
Okay. Hey, Jordana and Jared, all of the softest feathers for your nuts and nether regions.
Thank you.
Huge fan of you both, the pod, and a new subscriber. I'm writing with a situation that is leaving me feeling confused. Cue the if you're confused, he's not interested adage. Okay.
No,
but
that's not my
That's
adage.
not our adage.
No.
But I'm hoping you can shed some light
If you're
here.
confused, you're turned off.
Change confused to turned
little
off.
Perspective change.
I, 33 female, met a 40-year-old guy at a Jewish event a few weeks ago.
Hey.
We really hit it off, talked all night, stayed at the bar well after the party ended, made out at the bar, and so on.
Oh, Kanye is angry.
This goes against everything he stands for.
He really hates this. Jewish love?
It was a super fun night, and we had an incredible connection with endless commonalities and real things to talk about for hours on end.
Love it.
We exchanged numbers and texted back and
Do
forth.
you like matzo ball soup?
That's all Jews talk about. We just talk about matzo ball soup.
You went to summer camp?
We talk about loving matzo ball soup and hating Kanye West.
That's it.
Okay.
That's all we talk about now.
We exchanged numbers and texted back and forth a bit over the following week with some light banter over text that both he and I equally initiated.
Okay.
We went out on a proper date a week and a half after our initial meeting, and the date was amazing. We had easy, real conversations, attraction, great chemistry, and fun. I get it. It's great. I learned on the date
Enough already with the liking each other.
Give us the issues. Okay. I learned on the date that he's divorced. Green flag.
I didn't understand
I didn't really
when I
see
read
that. I guess he's not married. Great.
Big win.
It's a low bar. It's a low bar.
The guy who claimed to be single at the singles Jewish event wasn't married. Good. We did it.
This guy makes bad decisions.
Men are really good people.
Yeah. I learned on the date that he's divorced, green flag, and that their marriage ended amicably after growing apart and different desires on having children. Green flag. Again, I wouldn't call that a green flag.
Well,
I would call that fine.
Fine, right.
Yeah.
This is at least
not a red flag. Sure.
Right. Or I guess the green flag, if she's not saying, is that he wants kids and she wants kids. Maybe they're aligned.
I think it's also that it ended amicably. I think is
everyone says that dumped to someone else.
You're right. That is always their line. Yeah.
Amicable.
I have so much respect for them.
Right. That means you.
Yeah. If you respect someone after a breakup, that means you dumped them.
That's right.
He drove me home and asked when we could see each other again, saying it sounded like I had a busy weekend. I did. And when I said I could make time, he suggested the following week instead. He needed to figure some things out.
He's going to get rid of his wife.
I let him drive the texting conversation following our date on Wednesday evening, and we only exchanged a few text messages days after the date. No banter or attempts to make plans for the weekend. I hadn't heard from him since my last text to him on Saturday, and then got this message Tuesday afternoon. You
So they go on a date, no attempt to like banter over the weekend.
No.
And then they're supposed to have a date the following week, and he sends this.
Right.
Hey there, hope all is good on your end. ... This week/upcoming weekend is turning out to be a bit nutty. Could we pick it up next week, say dinner on Wednesday night?
Okay. Our text exchange, or lack thereof, following our date makes me feel like the amazing connection and interest I felt was actually one-sided. J&J, what are your takes here? Am I being put on the back burner? This would put 2 full weeks in between our dates with minimal communication in between. And I feel that if he was actually interested, there would be more effort being put into communicating with me and scheduling the date. I'm trying to let this play out before jumping to conclusions, but would love to hear your thoughts here. Not a back burner Betch.
I love this email. It's on theme with the subjects of the benefits episode, as well as what we talked about in the beginning of this episode.
Awkward texting dynamic here.
Right. And to me, it's not as awkward. Like, based on the facts,
right?
You had a great date. I don't think, here's where I start at. You're not crazy.
Okay.
Let me start at you're not crazy. What you felt at the table at this date, I am sure that they are within reason of where you felt.
Sure.
I have to assume that. I've been on too many of these things to feel like I've never been that far away.
Right.
I don't think most people
I mean, if you're making out at the bar the night you meet, I would assume there's a connection there.
There's something there.
Sure.
It's also one date. So I think he doesn't have obligation to you.
Okay.
One date. And I'm not saying that's great. I'm not saying this is a good thing. I'm just saying it happens. I do think when you say I got all these things going on and you met a guy who's divorced and he's at Jewish events, I think this guy's dating. Like, I think you're not the only one he's dating. Sure. He might be having good dates with a lot of people right now, which is fine. But he is making the plan. His text to you is a thoughtful text.
He's trying to make the plan, right?
He said Wednesday night. He's giving you the time. I know this isn't ideal, and it's annoying.
It's annoying because, like, there is a sense of you're like, why can't I just get a guy who's like, I had this great connection. Why can't I just find a guy who also feels the same way and wants to see me as soon as possible? Because that's how she was feeling.
Right.
She was like, I was busy that week, but I said I could figure it out. And he's like, no, don't figure it out for me. Like, we'll do the next week.
How old are they? Do we know?
I mean, he's divorced, so I assume he's in his 30s at least.
That's why, like, I think, like, a younger me is, like, jumping right in and, like, doing what you're saying.
Yeah, that's what we want.
Right. A younger me is a little less...
Like, let's keep the momentum. You talk about the momentum. Like,
right.
let's get,
I think
I
agree with all of this. I'm just saying, like, I'm thinking of myself and to be the vessel for this guy. Mm-hmm. Especially as you get older, he's gone through a divorce. Like, how does, like, dating kind of change, make people different over the years? I think you get jaded. And some of the jaded part is, like, this is kind of like the other, like, there's the jaded thing where it's, like, you're kind of like, when are you going to fuck me over?
Right.
And then there's the other side of jaded, and I kind of feel this, is holding myself back to not fuck someone over.
Okay.
You know, and I think...
But both of those are bad, right?
They both suck.
Yeah.
I'm not proud of that. Like, you kind of lose your whimsy and wonder.
Right.
WW. Like, you go... because
you're not starry-eyed and naive, yeah.
Right, and also you've hurt people in the past.
Or you've been hurt in the case of the cynical person.
Right, but I'm saying as a guy who may have hurt people.
Sure.
Who jumped in head first and was, like, literally, like, nuzzled in their arm as if we've been married for 30 years when we met, like, 2 days before.
Right.
I've done that. And now I avoid that.
Right.
Like, and I go...
Well, maybe this guy...
Let me make sure that I go on all the dates so that I'm not disappointing anyone, where I'm not really, like... And it kind of sounds like what this guy's... He's kind of, like, stretching this out.
Right. It's almost like the last email with the guy who is... with the Are We Dating, where the guy is going on vacation and has hooking up for a month and they're at their parents, is like, the other end of the spectrum, but then the person gets hurt. And this one is like more distanced.
Right.
But the person gets hurt either way. She's still kind of like, she's
Still
writing in
writing
because
us,
she's hurt and probably not as deep of a way, but she's still like, why, like frustrated. I think if you asked most women, and again, this is if you ask them, I don't know if they would respond this way after it was done. Would they rather you go all in and then decide you're not into it? I think so.
I can understand that. I mean, that also takes a lot of balls. You know, to have done that in the past and feel how that feels to like end something with someone that you're just like, you've gone all in with.
Right.
You're like,
they move on.
I just don't want to do that. It could be fun, but it's like, I don't even want to do that again. Like I'm putting a lot of my own experience onto this guy.
Right.
My I guess the part that, you know, we can deal with the emailer, you know, her plight of like, it's okay to be turned off. She's like, she wrote confused in the beginning, that whole adage that we didn't give.
You're going to call it turn off. Yeah.
It's okay to be like, I'm a little turned off by this, but we'll see what happens Wednesday.
Right. I think she should still go.
I think
she gave another. I think someone is allowed one reschedule with if they're offering another date.
I would also say to her, like, let's go in with like a kind of a plan. If I'm to like ease her like anxieties. If I were her, my plan would be, let's see what happens Wednesday. Let's see if we have the same magic that we had the first time. And then I'm going to invite him to something that I'm doing that weekend with friends.
Okay, so she's going to initiate the momentum.
I think that that places a momentum on things that actually like, because I'm thinking of like how would I fight me, you know? And I'm like, I think the thing he's fearing is that like, you know, what she wants is like, first date, second date. Now we're just like it's winter and we're hanging out every day.
How did we wind up here?
Right.
So
oh my God. 3 weeks we haven't separated.
Yeah.
And I do understand wanting that. I do think as I get older, I'd rather be alone than. So I think like encouraging a hang that is like almost like, because you're trying to meet a friend. Like I think about that a lot with my dating life. It's like, you see like these couples at work, they all say that they're friends. And I'm like, I can't imagine making a friend at 39 years old. Like I actually can't. Like at this point in life, I'm like, I avoid all maybe friendships everywhere.
Yeah, your next friend is going to be your wife.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And it's like, but I haven't made a friend in like a decade.
Same.
So it's like, who am I to say I'm going to make this friend at 39? 40 now that when this comes up. 40, I'm fucking old.
Oh my
God.
God.
But I'm saying it is actually crazy to me to think that I would make a friend at 40.
Right.
Because I am looking for, you see these dating apps.
Looking for my best friend.
And I'm like, okay, it's a little late for that. We didn't grow up on the same street. You know, like,
you are looking for your best friend.
Right.
Yeah.
And I agree with the statement. I think it's insane to try and like put into practice based on the way we're doing it with this, like, again, this guy, she's like, look at all these connections. We like know each other without knowing each other. And now they haven't even gone on the second date yet.
Right.
So like, I'm sure from his angle and vis-a-vis my angle, I would be like, easy there. I got friends. You know, like, so I think if I'm to give her a plan, this is like me.
All right, give her the
helping
plan. Give her the plan.
The plan is you go on this Wednesday date. Let's see how it goes.
Okay.
Let's see if you're turned on. Let's see if you have fully recovered. And then I would present like kind of a low pressure option.
Okay.
Of like that you would do with a friend.
Give me an example.
Hey, I'm going.
The date goes well. Second date goes well.
Date goes well. Okay. I have this. I have a friend and I are going to the local farmers market. This isn't very good season wise, but like we're
sure.
You know, the local.
Whatever.
You want to come hang with us? We're gonna get like coffee and like have these like really good, you know, pastries that are out at the. Do you want
sober hang?
Sober. You have the friend there, so now you're on a main street hang versus the alleyway hang. This is like, and I'm going with a friend. You're more than welcome to meet up and hang. Like, and I think that's like one of those like, I'm just putting out the milk to see if he'll drink it.
Right. And what if he's like, I can't, busy?
What are you doing this weekend? What's your other plans? And then
who are you seeing?
Yeah.
I thought we were exclusive.
Well, I just like, I think you move on from it, but it's like, it's kind of telling you like.
He's not going to be into the momentum. Yeah.
Right. And.
Would you go? If you had 2 great
If I
dates with
really
someone?
had a good, yeah, I think I would. I think I would be more likely to go.
You're going to the farmer's market?
I like a farmer's market. You don't like a
Yeah,
farmer's
I
market?
do. I do. I like a farmer.
I like it.
Oh, you do? Okay. That's good
I
to
like
know.
a farmer's market because I like to
Be
judge
outside.
all the things.
Okay.
And I go to the.
It's kind of nice. Yeah. I went to in Williamsburg. They would have them a lot.
They have them there,
Yeah.
but even every city I go to, there's always something like that on a Saturday. There's
Right.
always just a bunch of people selling their popcorn,
Yeah.
and then I'll
Did you buy stuff?
I buy some things.
Artisanal pickles?
I love pickles.
Same. Big fan of pickles.
Do you like sour pickles or
Sour.
You do.
Mike likes half sour. I like sour.
I'm a half sour guy. I like a pickle to be more like a cucumber than a pickle.
Really?
Yeah.
No, I'm the other direction.
Really?
Yeah, but he's with you, so
Yeah.
we have all in my. If you ever come over,
That's a good pickle match because you go to a deli and they put out the
Yeah.
pickles. They always give you the different shades.
yes. Also, same with wings. He doesn't like the drumstick, so I get all.
You're
I
a
do.
flats. You're a drumstick.
I
he's a
like the
flats.
drumstick. Yes, so he likes. That's the one of the few things he'll share with me.
I'm bisexual wing wise.
You'll go either way.
I'll eat all the wings.
Okay.
Yeah. I think there's different types for different moments.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like a drum that's too big.
I would agree. The smaller is
Yeah.
better.
I
Yeah.
want skin to meat
You want to work for it.
Yeah. I do. But I know this is a tough answer for her. To have
Right.
a plan waiting in your back pocket that there's a little more
Well-
casual. It's a little Three Bears-ish,
Yeah.
not too hot, not too cold, just right. I hope the sentiment comes through.
Is there a chance this guy really dates her for real?
Yes, absolutely. I'd say the chances are we still don't know. This
Right.
could be a real
He
relationship.
got married. You know he can commit.
Right.
It's within his capacity.
I don't think we're hearing.
He got divorced, so you know he can dump someone too.
Right. He's good at that. And he's got a good branding. Amicable. But I just don't know. I think he's dating other people. And I
Right.
think you met him at a bar and you're kind of like a wild card. He probably has a bunch of dates set up from a dating app. This guy's on a dating app probably. He's got a couple dates set
But
up.
don't men have enjoy an in-person interaction more also?
I think we all do, but I think, you
Like
she
a woman
entered
would
the rotation.
a woman would give up a dating app date for a good in-person interaction date.
I think most people would, but I think you just plan shit. You have plans on the calendar.
Okay.
I mean, I'm in that game right now.
Right.
I'm on Hinge and
Have you ever met someone where you're like, I'm going to cancel my dates for the week, just focus on this person,
I have the thought runs through my brain.
but you don't do it?
It's hard.
Okay.
It's hard. It's a little bit. I mean, that's gonna be bad for people to hear, but it's but what if? You get caught up in that.
Right.
It's hard.
All
Let's
right.
play some games.
Good luck. Let's play some games.
We love Red Flag Deal Breaker. If you don't know the game, listeners write in. They're having a perfect date. This one thing happens. Is it a red flag? You see it and you just keep going
Or is it a deal breaker?
and you're done.
UUP at Betches.com.
Keep sending them in. J&J, longtime listener, first-time writer, huge fan of you both. I saw Jared in Montreal. Had the best time. Thank you. That Montreal show.
You had a great time,
A lot of fun.
right?
What a town. I have a red flag or deal breaker about dating app conversations. I've been messaging this one guy on a dating app and cannot always reply right away, obviously, which is usually nothing to note. After I didn't respond for a few hours, he responded with question mark, question mark, question mark, question mark.
That is so aggressive.
That's a lot of question marks. And she's gone. Oh, fuck this guy.
And she's gone.
It's so annoying.
You got a narrator here.
I know. And it is so, you said it exactly how he said it.
Yeah.
This has happened with other men I've chatted with on the apps too. I've even had one guy say, "Are we going to get to know each other or not?" Well, for me, this is pretty much a deal breaker, and I usually unmatch. I am not sure if this is too much of a leap, but to me, these feel like warning signs that a guy could be possessive or doesn't respect my time. These are sort of fears that make it a deal breaker, since double texts are annoying on their own, but not really a huge deal. To be clear, I'm not saying double texts are a deal breaker, but rather when a man questions why I haven't replied yet, even if it hasn't been that long. So what do you think? Red flag or deal breaker? What do you think?
I think on a dating app, those kinds of responses would be deal breakers. I do think if you're like have met someone and you've established something, I also still think those are aggressive. Like, and she's gone, or like that's like an annoying way to immature kind of way to get a response.
Right. It doesn't even like acknowledge that they have a life of their own and have things going
Especially
on.
on a dating app when someone owes you. We've said this all the time. Nothing.
Right. They're making something personal that isn't personal at all.
Totally. If the only situation where it's acceptable to ask someone where the hell they are is you went on the first date, the second date is coming up. You're trying to book a place. It's time sensitive. They didn't answer. And then you can follow up and say, hey, I'm really sorry to be like bothering you. I'm sure you're busy. I really just need to know.
That's the problem with their texts. It's like putting it all on her.
4 question marks? Get a life.
Right.
If you used to, how on now you can do the reaction question mark?
Yes. Reaction question mark is, that's aggressive. I will say this, that I do think her saying it's like a possessive thing, I disagree. I think it's like a self-conscious thing. I think they're taking out their anger with the apps on you.
Right.
I think they got ahead of themselves and they kind of emotionally masturbated to the idea of like they're attracted to you and they think you're a catch and they've mastered you on the app and now...
Do they know that wouldn't help?
I think they're just trying to like... I think that to me, this is when she's getting this multiple times. I'm sure these guys are like, see something. Yeah. And they're like, and I've had this happen to me. I have people do that to me. Oh, they'll respond, but it's a little bit nicer from a woman. I think a lot of times the women will be like, I'm going to try this again. I didn't hear from you back from the last
we are
message.
less like ego driven, I think. Yeah.
It definitely has to do with it. So I don't think this comes from a good place. Yeah. So it would be a deal breaker for me.
Right. It would just be like this person's like taking it to the next level like so quickly.
Right. You've taken something very personal that like this is supposed to be fun. Like we haven't even met yet. Like I have no investment.
You're already fighting with me? Right. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. It would be different if you've already been out. I still don't think these are the way to do it, but you can ask someone like sometimes I'm not sure if you're interested in me. You feel like you like don't really answer that much.
Totally different. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like I've written back, are we alive today? Like to someone I've met, not to someone I've never met.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Like there's a context to it. These people don't have that. All right. When I was 21, I had just gotten out of a long-term relationship. On my first single night out on the town, I met a man while out with my friends. For the sake of my story, let's call him Simon. I'm really attracted to him, and he has a super weird, mysterious essence to him that I still can't quite explain.
Simon the Mysterious.
I was going to say, sounds like he's married. We hook up that night, and for the next few months, we sporadically meet up and hook up. I finally asked to see him ahead of time rather than our usual late night meetup. So we start going on dates. This begins our next chapter.
So dramatic.
He takes me on super nice dates at a caliber I had never experienced. Sports games, nice dinners, etc.
Who's this Simon?
Right? I thought maybe we were going to date. It seemed like he wanted to. Eventually, he moved to another city and got back together with one of his exes. Okay, I guess not.
One of them.
2 years later, he moved back to the same city as me, and I got a text from him asking to see me. After weighing the pros and cons, telling him no, but then circling back and saying yes, I see him. It feels exactly the same as before, but better. Ooh. We start to go on fun dates again for a few months. He tells me he is sorry, that he missed me, that he has changed, and that he regrets going back to his ex instead of being with me. One night, after returning to his place for the evening, I see that there is a pot next to his bed on the floor by the side table. The kind you would use to boil pasta. I say, "What's up with the pot?" I ask, laughing. "Oh," he says, and pauses. "Well, that's for when I have to pee in the middle of the night. If I walk to the bathroom, it wakes me up. You know, once your body starts moving, it wakes your brain up, and then I can't fall back asleep. So I just piss in this, so I don't have to get up." He said it matter-of-factly, like it was normal. Smart, even. I stare at him, puzzled. "Oh, really? Okay." I truly did not know what to say.
You don't have a piss pot?
It's all the rage. "You've seen me do this before, right?" No, he most certainly had not. He probably was mixing me up with another girl he was seeing, someone he had already hit the piss pot stage with.
One of the other piss pot ladies.
I don't really say anything. I just sort of nod and look away. "Well, I'm glad you don't think it's gross," he says. Of course I think it's gross. I wake up not once, but twice to him hunched over the side of the bed naked in the middle of the night, tinkling in a pot.
Look away!
Nothing looks more attractive in my brain than thinking this. Right. In the morning, while I'm going to make his coffee, he brings his little piss pot. He dumps the piss in the kitchen sink, and the pot is just sitting there while he makes coffee. This is so gross. I left, and that was the last time I ever did or ever will see Simon. So red flag or deal breaker, he keeps a pot next to his bed to pee at night. We didn't really need the whole first couple of paragraphs.
Yeah, about how wonderful and everything. I mean,
right, and he left and came back.
Thought he was Christian Grey.
Right.
In the beginning. No one touches me like Simon.
Yeah, this is disgusting.
He has a piss pot next to his bed. Yeah, it doesn't really go with the story.
Here's the thing. I agree that when you get up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom, it does, get you out of the groove of your sleep. It's a decision you have to make when you if you do wake up, is it worth moving my body?
Right.
That part of the statement, fine. To do it with someone to do this as a solution is crazy.
No, this is
also to do it with someone you're I can understand not wanting to do that on a nightly basis if I live alone, maybe. Again, the sink part with the pot is disgusting. So that's the deal breaker in itself. But even if that's your thing, even if that's your clever solution, to do it with someone that you're newly sleeping with would be so crazy to me.
Right.
You don't even care what they think.
This is how I live.
Yeah.
Deal with it.
Gross.
Hey, good morning, honey. Yeah, I'm just gonna pour out the piss pot and then we can go
kitchen
for breakfast.
sink.
Yeah, it's
what if a woman did this?
It would be quite a feat to watch her get the pee in
squat.
the pot. Yeah, I have to say, I've seen,
Would you be out?
I'd be out. Yeah,
You'd be kind of into it. She's an animal.
She's an animal. Just the weirdness. It's just if a woman did this, I'd be like, I need to know more as much as possible before I leave here.
Right.
But no, I mean, I can't even imagine a woman doing such a thing.
It's disgusting.
Right.
We would never, because we're not disgusting.
Okay. It is very male, this well, you have to pee, so I'll put the pot next to the bed. It's very oh, I can fix this problem real quick. I'll just put a little cylinder next to the bed. I'll lean over. I'll put my penis in the cylinder. And
of course.
All the way. I have a series of...
Put your penis in the cylinder.
Yeah, I have a series of tubes that lead it right to the toilet, and we're good to go.
No.
So it's just bizarre. Okay, let's do one more. J&J, longtime listener, new benefit subscriber. Thank you so much for all the dating advice through all these years. Your insight into advice has got me through a 4-year-long situationship where I finally learned to create my own closure and end it for good. Falling in love again and being in my first healthy relationship, and now, unfortunately, getting through my first adult breakup / heartbreak. We've gone through the whole series of things.
We have.
I'm slowly getting back out there again and came across this Hinge prompt attached below. Personally, I do eat meat socially, but I prefer to eat vegetarian at home. I'm very open to dating someone with different eating preferences than me, but this response really turned me off. Curious what your thoughts are. Thanks for everything. Okay, so here's the prompt. You should leave a comment if you're not a vegetarian. Clenched teeth emojis. Can hit a tennis ball. Prefer to eat family style, and want to grab a drink / coffee.
To me, this is why context and the receipts are so important. Mm-hmm. This wasn't that bad when I saw it when she shows the actual display.
Right, it's a little softer with all the other things.
Yeah, it's a little more playful. This guy's just telling you he loves eating meat. Mm-hmm. He loves to play tennis. He likes family style and getting coffee.
He's definitely made a judgment on vegetarians, that they can't even be dealt with, that they're too much of a pain in the ass to even date.
Right. I read it a little more jokey, but
I read it jokey, but I agree with the emailer.
Okay.
The idea that really is that how you look at the world, that you could never I've seen this from the male side too.
Right.
You should not go out with me if you're a vegetarian. I've seen that. Mm-hmm. I think
maybe he really does not think he would be compatible with a vegetarian. You wouldn't date someone who wouldn't eat Chinese food on a Sunday night.
Absolutely. That may be the case. I think living in I phrases is better than you phrases.
Okay.
So I think this is off-putting just because it's a you.
So you don't like this prompt?
I don't like the prompt.
I guess the prompt is you should leave a comment, but he's made it negative.
Right? He's made it negative. I think you have to be I think any prompt response should be personal, light, and vulnerable.
Okay.
And so this is not personal. This is not light.
So you'd prefer you should leave a comment if you love meat.
Right. You love going out for barbecue.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be a great thing?
That's a better, more positive way to do it.
Isn't that a more fun person to talk to? What are we going to do? Shit on vegetarians for our first conversation? I guess.
Right.
I could meet an annoying omnivore or carnivore or whatever, and an annoying vegetarian. Like I think
Right. I agree with you. That's
know,
fair. It would be a red flag for me, but I agree it would be better if he phrased it more positively.
Right. If this person's like, again, to go back to the beginning of this show, like if they're hot, we'll push through and see what happens. Like if I find them like if I'm attracted,
Right.
If
That's what I'm saying. It wouldn't be a deal. It wouldn't be a deal breaker.
Not a deal breaker.
Yeah.
But it also, to me, I think, if we're to like play the percentages game, the person who writes this in their profile, probably not a fun hang. Yeah. I don't think they're like as cool as they think they are. I don't think they're as fun as they think they are.
Just gnawing on their ribs.
I don't think they're
Judging
like
everyone.
a good conversation. Right. We're going to sit there and suck on ribs.
Yeah. No, I agree. And there's a more fun way to say all of those things.
You've chosen negativity over positivity.
Right.
So
you stink, but I agree. Just a red flag.
Red flag. Well, we solved dating again.
We did it. We'll be back next week.
Boom.
No, we'll be back on Friday.
Friday feels. Boom.
Bye. Kate McAuliffe is our senior producer. Our editor is Emily Freed. Candace Maniga is our senior social producer. Our associate producer is Will Maxwell. Additional production help from Shannon Jimenez Sasson. Be sure to follow us at u.up.podcast and send us your emails to uup@betches.com.